SeaWorld's rescue team received a phone call that there was a small dolphin on a beach near Tijuana. Once we arrived on scene and assessed the situation, we noticed this was a very young animal, and the best thing for this animal's survival was to get it back to the park quickly. One of the most important things was to get it into a pool and have our veterinarians give the animal a complete physical examination. The animal was extremely lethargic, unresponsive, and was having a very difficult time keeping his body upright. He kept flipping upside down in the water. One of our team members developed a great life jacket for this dolphin, and we put the life jacket on the animal and helped it float at the surface of the water.
One of the first things we tried to do for TJ was rehydrate him. We did this by giving him subcutaneous fluids as well as tubing him an electrolyte solution. Shortly after TJ was rescued, we discovered that he had an abscess above his front right pectoral flipper. The vets lanced the abscess, flushed it, and put him on antibiotics to treat the infection.
During the first week with me, TJ actually tried to nurse. He was actually touching my side and looking for a place to nurse. So I took that as a sign that he was hungry. So I offered him small fish and he actually ate right away.
We initially had to provide 24-hour care for this animal. This was an extremely weak, emaciated, lethargic animal, and it was important we were there to give it the support it needed. This young animal couldn't tell us why he stranded, so it's our job to figure that out. And one of the ways we do that is through a variety of diagnostic tests. An MRI is really going to tell us what's going on inside this animal's body and brain, and it's one of the best assessments we have.
Once TJ was stabilized and was able to keep himself afloat and navigate, he was ready to be moved to a bigger pool. Throughout TJ's rehabilitation process, he was moved to increasingly larger pools in order to build his endurance and stamina.
So when TJ moved to the larger pool, we actually were able to remove the flotation device because he actually was swimming by himself, and his diet went up. We went up to 5 to 6 pounds of fish a day, and he was eating capelin, smelt, and herring.
TJ came in May weighing 55 pounds, and by August he had put on 10 pounds, which shows us that the chances of a full recovery are very promising. The next step for TJ's rehabilitation was for us to reduce contact and let him demonstrate to us that he could survive on his own. Out in the wild, an animal needs to eat when the opportunity presents itself. So the team came up with an idea of incorporating a feeding tube into his pool. First, we started feeding him fresh frozen fish, then we progressed to live fish. Gradually, his consumption of live fish increased, and by mid-September, we started making plans to return TJ to his ocean home.
Our goals are always to rescue, rehabilitate, and return these animals to the wild, but we also want to learn from each and every one of these animals and help conservation efforts of their species and ecosystems in the future.
TJ was fitted for a transmitter for tracking his movements and learning about his species. It was designed to fall off after a few months.
So TJ had been at SeaWorld's rescue program for 5 months, and his big day was October 8th to be returned back to the ocean.
On the day of TJ's return, we had a spotter plane and a spotter boat, whose job was to find a group of dolphins that were the same kind as TJ. The second boat was to bring TJ out to them.
So that day I was on the spotter boat, and as we go out, just a mile off San Diego, we actually saw a whole big pod of common dolphins, and that's exactly what we needed to see for his return.
The day we returned TJ to the wild was an accumulation of a lot of emotions for me, and the strength that we gathered from each other and the time, the effort, the energy, the passion the people I work with put into rehabilitating this common dolphin, it all came to fruition in that one moment when we were able to give this dolphin a second chance at life.
You got this, T. Here we go. You got this. You got it. You got it, buddy. Here we go. Woo!
The information we're currently getting back from TJ's transmitter is all very positive. He's in an area where we expect to see and find long-beak common dolphins. He's diving, which leads us to believe that he is foraging in the wild, so we are really excited at the progress he is making. We did everything we could to give TJ a second chance at life, and now it's up to him, and we have high hopes that he's going to thrive.